First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast app you use and found us on, or
twitch.tv/upNXT podcast and youtube.com/upNXT.
yeah, hey, maybe you prefer watching us on video form the day
We're
after.
pretty good looking guys, to be honest
all right,
with you.
you know.
Yeah, like
we're no
I'd
scrubbers.
watch us.
Yeah,
you know.
why not? You're wearing like a QT Marshall shirt today.
I just haven't changed from work. I've been very
Black
lazy.
polo.
Just a black polo shirt. Yeah, it's not quite a bowling shirt, but
Yeah, it's giving me like Charlie Sheen vibes.
okay.
Like, hey, he's a good-looking guy too.
Eh,
He did all right.
he did okay for himself.
Yeah, you can find us on the YouTube and the Twitch and watch us when we go live for these kinds of things. But you can check out the replays, or you're listening to us wherever you found us, and we appreciate that. And welcome to the show. We're your NXT friends.
Friends.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Tuesday
voice
nights.
is going. I couldn't do that
Now
today.
you're like Peter Brady or
Friends.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about NXT every week, every Tuesday here at upNXT. So hello, if you're new to us, welcome.
Yeah.
We talk about NXT. We talk about other stuff. We do usually have a show on Wednesdays called BD Elite, which is kind of on a hiatus, but not post wrestling. To talk about AEW every Wednesday for Rewinded Dynamite. So don't worry if you feel like, oh, what happened to BD Elite last week? It's just on the Post Wrestling network there,
Yeah.
so you can check that out.
We have a residency with John Pollock and
a
Post
brief
Wrestling.
residency with Post.
Yeah.
Was a lot of fun last week chatting to John. We'll be doing that all again tomorrow night. So make sure you join that, youtube.com/postwrestling for all our thoughts on AEW. But today's Tuesday. Today's not AEW day. It's NXT day.
That's right. So we're here to talk about the road to Heatwave.
2.0 Tuesdays. Yeah. Heatwave next week.
Next week, NXT Heatwave, which we'll jump into the card and some predictions, but some good stuff. But I feel like if you've been watching other wrestling from WWE, you might be seeing some familiar NXT faces pop up. I mean, we pour one out when people get released. What happens when they show up?
We pour them in.
We pour them back in. So
Pour 'em
you
back
take
in.
a shot, I guess, for all the people back from the dead here, meaning looks like he's slotted into that main picture right away. It seems
Yeah,
that way.
like, do you see him actually being inserted to the match?
Yeah.
Maybe. Cross is an interesting one. I can't say I've ever been like really into his wrestling. I always thought the presentation of him in NXT was great and felt very main roster, and can certainly see you doing things. I think we always said you just need to see him mix it up with the big lads, mixing up with Roman, with Drew, with Lashley, like with Sheamus. That kind of crop of people you see him slotting right into. He did have moments. I think his way was pretty good on NXT last year. So he's shown he can do stuff at times, so interesting. But yeah, very much NXT presentation, the entrance, Scarlet, the hourglass, all of that. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool to see him really control his narrative when it comes to his character. I guess he skipped out on them, and I think they're gonna cease to exist if they're.
Oh, how can you go on without Cross?
Yeah, it's a shame because I was looking into getting you tickets for your birthday.
Oh really? No, you can.
I don't think they could cross the border.
Wait
though.
till WES actually happens, because I'll go home for that for sure.
That's what
Authors
the
of Pain
show.
NFT show.
NFT show.
They want to do NFTs and stuff in the metaverse and all that.
Are you trying to sell me an NFT?
Always.
Stop it.
You know
what are you doing? Yeah, I mean, Karrion Kross coming back. That is, hey, I know that he had some your like your run and like the where it kind of stops you dead in your tracks, And he had his moments there, but then of course I kept joking when it was going down, when he kept losing to Jeff Hardy in 2 minutes on Raw, and then he wore that mask. Yeah, it was really weird. So I don't want to just say this guy sucks because look at what we've seen, but like give him a kind of a chance to do what he kind of was trying to do. So to me at least was the whole angle they did with Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, and I feel Dexter, both you and I, was someone who really grew on us during his time in NXT, where by the time, I feel the beginning of his gimmick, neither of us could really care about this guy.
Yeah.
By the time he got released, we were like, oh man, Dexter, they had something quite good going there.
I mean, when they showed him on USA Network in bed with Indy Hartwell and we go, wow. They did, but I really enjoyed what they did with him in NXT. Or was this like a whole ploy? Is this a whole start of something to do it?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe this is the start. They've been name dropping him. Sort of the Ciampa did the Gargano escape on Raw.
Yeah.
They've sort of done little hints at Johnny Gargano. Maybe it's kind of he's the big one. We get through all these sort of other guys, kind of for me and for a lot of fans, maybe less interesting signings, but still kind of cool. Seeing people come back, it's definitely feeling that Triple H stamp. But maybe building up to a bigger event for Gargano to make his way to WWE. The way. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, I guess sitting out, having a kid, maybe it worked out and he can be brought in to be this big star maybe in WWE. I mean, I think this is what's interesting right now. We saw pretty much this time last year in September with, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole, all these people jumping over to AEW and stuff. And it's really weird now that WWE are basically just doing that with people they've had already. Yeah. It's all these ex-WWE guys joining WWE. Yeah. Like, what is this? But it's kind of cool that they can do it. And it definitely does make me a bit more interested. I thought the angle on Raw was actually quite interesting, how they did it, and sort of not really bringing full attention to Dexter Lumis, trying to make out like almost it was just a shoot, like an intruder trying to come in. I thought the idea was pretty good, and I liked seeing them trying to do new things. Didn't think it maybe an execution was as good as it could have been, but I appreciate the effort.
I mean, I said it last week. If you listen to Rewind to Dynamite, I said all you need to do in wrestling is have attempted manslaughter with a car.
Yeah.
Vehicle manslaughter attempts. And they did it on Raw. So both shows doing almost murder with cars.
Love it.
I mean, yeah, why not? I'm interested. I'm a huge Gargano fan. And if this is a way, like you said, to bring him in and do all this, then yeah, you have my attention.
At this point, I don't want to see him in AEW.
No.
Sure, there are matches I'd love to see him. Yeah. People I'd love to see him work with, but this is the time, I think. If there was ever a time to re-sign with WWE, I think it's now. We know he's a Triple H guy. You just look, the attention Ciampa's had in these 2-3 weeks since Triple H has taken over. I think they did a reference to doing it yourself as well on Raw.
That's right.
This is the time for Gargano to be there, and finally, whereas all these years we go, and you saw it, Gargano pretty much left because it's like, well, my time has ran out here in NXT and there ain't going to be a place for me on the main roster, so I'm going to have a baby.
Yeah.
It could work out perfectly.
It really could for him. Looking at it now, and they need to have like some stars being pushed again, some new stuff. And Ciampa obviously is someone that instantly is proving himself. You gave him a microphone, doesn't matter if he's with the Miz. People are like, "Oh, who's this guy?" If you weren't familiar, if you're maybe not a hardcore fan, but to bring in some of the other people that I'm sure this isn't even the end of like what some changes and some other people being brought up and maybe NXT call-ups and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if this is, it's so far so good. They're instantly changing things little by little and bringing in different people. Whether, you know, Karrion Kross, it's sink or swim, I think, for him now.
Yeah.
He's got to put on some really good matches. But Gargano coming in, there's so many, like, down the line. Gargano Seth, obviously. Gargano Cody. Gargano literally anyone he's never faced in WWE.
What kind of reaction do you think he'd get? Obviously, we're massive Gargano fans, but not everyone does watch NXT, and you get those kind of, you know, just Monday Night Raw watchers.
Yeah.
If you debuted him, say, at the Cardiff show, UK crowd, which tend to be quite smart, do you think that could be a good place? Because we saw with Cody, it's about presentation, right? You present someone as a star, people buy him as a star. Do you think that would be too big a place to kind of bring in a Gargano?
Yeah, I did think it would be this Raw, but just because it was
Cleveland.
just because it's where he's from. So I'm like, all right, that makes sense. But I guess maybe they do have some plans. Maybe he's not coming back for a while. Maybe he's the Royal Rumble entrant. You know, maybe we're looking way too into this, that they're setting something else up. But there seems to be something going on. There seems to be cooking something up there, Papa Triple H. And yeah, I am a Johnny Gargano fan, so I am kind of interested. That will. You know, if you were to, hey, Johnny versus whoever is happening on Raw, yeah, I would tune in to watch that. Also, absolute nothing is stopping them from booking Johnny Gargano versus Io Shirai one-on-one. But, like, that's just a WWE problem, I guess. They need to do more of that because some crazy dream matches for sure. It's crazy that that this is happening. I mean, Vince McMahon leaving WWE is the biggest story for WWE ever, especially as someone who, if you've been watching for a long time, wrestling feels like it's going in a different direction for WWE, which is super cool. They're going to use the word wrestling again. That's awesome. So I'm super excited to...
The word hospital was used
Hospital,
the other day.
not a medical facility. Yeah, things like that are just like instantly going to make it better. So I'm pretty stoked to watch. And I do think Sasha Banks... will be making her way back. It makes sense. I can see them going after her for sure.
I mean, I wonder if you do anything with this tag tournament that's going on. Obviously, they're not in the brackets, but maybe whoever wins this thing, you could have Naomi and Sasha come out to like just stare down.
Yeah, I mean,
with their belts, you know, that kind of thing.
Sasha and Naomi are like the last entrant in this thing. They win the whole thing. They get the titles again. They're 2-time tag champions, and Triple H takes his winning photo with Sasha, but he's in the other end of the room for the photo.
What do you mean?
Did you see Sasha Banks Comic-Con photos?
Oh, okay. Is it like no touching kind of thing?
So I totally get it, because wrestling fans are weird, and
Yeah.
we've seen so many weird photos of Fan Expo, not just wrestling fans, just Comic-Con fans or whatever. But the photo ops for Sasha Banks and Naomi are like a meter away from the person. These photos look so ridiculous. Right. I get it. You shouldn't be touching, but like, can you not do better than that? Like, it just looks so. Imagine spending, I don't know, $100, whatever it is, to meet this person. No, you didn't meet them. You're like 2 meters away.
Yeah, that's shitty.
It looks so hokey and looks so carny, and I'm not saying, well, they should be able to, no, you don't need to touch them, but like to stand next to them would be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
For a meet and greet.
Yeah. Pose, do the boss pose.
Literally,
with your fingers, that kind of
anything.
Thing. Like, there's the one. Well, there's the ones with Avril Lavigne, isn't there? Whether it's no touching, but you stood awkwardly next to like arms behind your sides. It's still better than this, but you got to do something.
There's got to be a way to figure it out. I just think it looks so funny, and I mean, some people take these things and touch people and hug them, and they don't want that. And in COVID world is still a thing and all that, but like, it just, can you not just,
I still think the destination, and I think I mentioned this last week, should be women's war games at Survivor Series, and you can have Sasha and Naomi join. What is it like? Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca.
Okay.
You could take on Bayley, Io, Dakota, and find 2 other heels to join them.
Yeah, it'd be wild.
Like, I think that could be something you could build to.
Do it. They should. Why not?
Because you see the focus, both on this show tonight, NXT, and the main roster, that's what WWE is doing best right now. It's the women's division. And for all the stuff we love about AEW, I think it's night and day when it comes to women's wrestling, where like they're the stars to me. Like Bianca on Raw, she's the star right now. I think that would be something pretty cool. Or do it on TV. You know, do a big themed Raw. We see they do these themed NXTs, themed like Heatwave next week.
Yeah.
Start trying that with the main roster. Do a branded SmackDown live on Fox where you could have a big stipulation match like that.
That would be all right. And I mean, bringing War Games into main roster stuff would be cool, especially when Cody's back, because you know he wants to be in a War 100%. Games match for sure. You're saying that's an end game possibility for you. When I mean, I can't wait. I think we'll dive into it a bit more tomorrow on Rewind to Dynamite. Can't wait to talk to Pollock about the true end game, because we're in the end game now. Because someone who had some Twitter fingers yesterday or today, meaning Kota Ibushi,
right,
saying he is very interested in doing some shows with AEW.
Nice.
And apparently wants to get the lovers back together.
Interesting.
And says dream opponent is Hangman Adam Page.
All right.
So,
nice.
Hey.
He's still, like, he's with New Japan, but not doing anything with New Japan right now.
Yeah, is he running away from the Yakuza? What's he doing?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Shout out Kota Ibushi. That would be great. But, yeah, again, wrestling's going in a great direction. I'm really excited to see the next few months, and especially the next, like, year or so. Wrestling could be pretty wild. Yeah. And, I mean, we got a bunch of time. It's August. But if anyone's interested in going or are planning on going to the AEW shows in Toronto when they do happen, we will be planning some things. And I promise that if you want a photo with us, it'll be free. And also you can hug me if you want.
Speak for yourself.
No. You're a hugger, though.
Yeah, I am a hugger.
Yeah.
As our friend Eric Marcotte learned. When we both met him and we're like, we're huggers.
Yeah, exactly. We'll jump into some NXT. I do want to let people know we got some other podcasts coming out, because next week is NXT Heatwave, and we thought what a perfect opportunity to talk about a great pay-per-view in a special review from the 6, ECW Heatwave, 1998.
It's pretty much the highest rated ECW show ever. Like, you look on Cage Match, it's the highest rated one there. It seems to be the one, you look at all these lists, what is the best ECW pay-per-view, this one keeps coming up. We have talked about Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome before, but there's a whole lot else on this show that we've never talked about. So really looking forward to that, to get into the Heatwave mood.
We love doing classic pay-per-view reviews on the Patreon, and chatting about old ECW is a ton of fun. And you know Bill Alfonso is going to be on the show with his whistle. So we're always excited to talk. But Heatwave 98, I have watched this pay-per-view quite a few times. It's up there. So super excited to chat about some Heatwave. We just also did a Up Yours with Rob McDonald, one of our World Champ patrons, who picked Man of Steel. So if you're a Superman comic book fan and all that, go check out that review if you haven't already. But then
good chat with Rob. Some really different opinions on this film between the three of us.
And you can hear me and you probably spend 20 minutes talking about Dean Cain as the best Superman of all time.
100%, yeah.
That was a fun
shadow
show.
of a doubt.
But Rob heard us do the Batman reviews and was like, okay, I got to help fill in the gaps for you guys. So that's why he picked this. But he brought some Superman knowledge to us. And then we talk about best Superman music, all sorts of different stuff. That was a fun show. But then we got another show that we're recording tomorrow, which is another World Champ pick. And boy, I'm excited to talk about this because it's one of my favorite movies. Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we've done a couple of Jackie Chan films before.
Rush Hour.
We did Rush Hour. I'm sure we've done another one, have we not?
Have we not?
Have we not done The Tuxedo?
Oh, God. Don't get me started.
Yeah, this should be really fun. We're joined by world champion Justin, who's picked this one for us.
Justin, shout out Justin, because this review is going to be a ton of fun. I loved this movie growing up. I had TBS here in Canada, and they'd always play this movie in the afternoon, and then for some reason it would maybe lead into or play after WCW and stuff like that. But Rumble in the Bronx, awesome, Jackie Chan. So that review's coming out as well. And
on top of that, for our world champion patrons, we have just recorded a brand new episode of Behind the BDE which will be dropping probably like tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like
I'll probably upload it after we do this show here tonight. So World Champs, you'll get that exclusive show where we talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about seeing some celebrities. We talk about pranks we pulled on our teachers.
Yeah.
We talked about some interesting
we
things.
always go all over the place.
Yeah.
No script. We just see where we go.
Where it takes
we
us.
let every distraction take us somewhere else.
Exactly. So go check us out. World Champ tier, that's our elite group of patrons, and we appreciate them. There are pillars here, but if you want to listen to most of these shows, the North American tier is $5, and you get access to all these podcasts like the reviews and the movie. NXT was next. We did a retro NXT review last week as well. We're all over the place. It's only $5. It equals to pennies per podcast.
Absolutely.
I bought a coffee today for $6, and I thought, wow, you could get all these podcasts for less than what I paid for this coffee. Yeah. And it was a good coffee, but $6.
Where'd you go?
It was near. I don't remember the name of it, but it was over the view, Broadview, and something.
Okay.
The view of the city.
I feel $6 is standard.
It's
like-
normal. Yeah, it's normal.
Like a good coffee.
Yeah, it was. It was a pretty good coffee.
Yeah, good,
But
good.
still, yeah, but for less than that, you can get our podcast.
Everything.
Exactly.
Hundreds and hundreds of shows.
Yeah.
We will get into some NXT, but I do want to just pour one out. Oh, Sandy.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John.
yeah, true.
I mean, we've done our Power Rangers reviews and talk about the Pink Ranger being most people's first crush, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. Olivia Newton-John,
Yeah.
Sandy, Grease.
Greatest heel turn, babyface turn in history. It's kind
Depends
of
what
backwards.
way you look at it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, I finished work yesterday. I
Yeah.
sat at my bar, had a couple of drinks when the news came out, and just went to the system, put on Hopelessly Devoted to You, Physical, and we all had a little sing song. But yeah, sad. Grease is the word, you know. It's
OG American music.
I feel like everyone's seen, whether you admit it or not, everyone's seen this, or at least sung one of the songs at a wedding or whatever.
Oh yeah, Summer Lovin' right now is a
exactly.
banger. Yeah.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John.
It is all time. I think it could be the best musical for me, at least. Like I've watched it a million times. I probably know every line, like in the songs and stuff. But yeah, R.I.P. We'll have to review that sometime. Reenact it. Who would you be if you were in Greece? Are you a Danny?
I'm not a Danny. No, I'd be.
Who's that annoying friend?
I'd be that
guy.
one. I'd be that.
You
guy.
wouldn't be that guy.
No,
What do you mean?
I think that's who I'd play if I was
What?
like, yeah.
No, you're selling yourself short. Here I am
Okay.
saying I'd be the shithead, but no.
I wouldn't be Danny.
I'll be Danny then. It's fine.
Neither of us are Danny. I don't think. Be Frenchy. I'd play for the other side.
I'll be the beauty school dropout.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, R.I.P. I thought you were going to say pour one out for Johnny Ace, but, you know.
No, fuck him.
Fair enough.
He doesn't get it.
No, he doesn't get a pour one out?
He gets his porn out in a trash bag sent to his house. How
I
about
hope
that?
they sent all his shit to
Yeah.
him like that. His skateboard in a trash bag.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about some NXT?
Let's do it.
All right.
NXT 2.0 from August 9th, 2022 from the Capital Wrestling Center. We get a bit of a different open this week. It's very quick promos from everyone featured in the main matches tonight. We start with Trick and Melo hyping up the rounds match between Trick and Wes Lee. Melo says Trick says float like a butterfly, cry like Wesley. And then Wes says he's going to come at him swinging, and Trick's jaw is going to be nothing but glass after he shatters it tonight. Cora says she will eliminate Zoe Stark just like she eliminated Roxy from her life. And then Tony D'Angelo saying, let's see what happens when we meet face to face right here. And the camera pans out and we see he's waiting at his pad, his very fancy garden with fountains and stuff, where
very nice.
Him and Santos are going to lay down the terms. They're going to put this to bed once and for all. Kind of like this open, actually, just hyping everything for the night.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to do this every week, actually, and I hope they continue to, because it just reminds you. Because we were right as the show was starting, we were turning it on, and we were like, "What is the show tonight? What is the show?" And then they quickly remind you, so it's not a bad.
It's something that NXT's always been good at,
Yeah.
and it's something they've maintained through the transition to 2.0 is promoting ahead. They often have matches lined up for next week and
Yeah.
and usually the week after as well, which I'd like to see being implemented more on the main roster moving forward. But yeah, I thought this was a smart way to open the show. And then we go to Kiana James versus Nikita Lyons. This came after Kiana James had a PowerPoint presentation explaining why a lady like Nikita Lyons is bringing down the NXT women's division.
Yeah, she crunched all the numbers. She put a PowerPoint presentation together and explained to the world why Nikita is a terrible person. She should have just played clips of her on that reality show that everyone seemed to be sharing on Twitter this week. But yeah, so Nikita then clapped back and said, like, I'm not ashamed of who I am. I feel like it was the similar thing we've seen someone already do with Nikita. Like, your mom was a groupie. And she's like, yeah, so?
Yeah, but that was Kiana James.
No, but we've seen when Nikita like just came in. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't recall,
All right.
but someone did it.
So earlier today, Zoe Stark is with Nikita backstage earlier today as they've been announced to be part of the main roster women's tag team title tournament.
Yeah, so Nikita and Zoe are in the WWE women's tag tournament. Yeah, crazy.
I heard on Rewind a Raw yesterday they suggested that this match should actually be on NXT.
Okay,
and that they should
fair
promote
enough.
it, which I kind of think would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Bit of cross promotion. But they say that they've been on different journeys in NXT, but now they will come together and kind of show everyone why they should be the tag team champions. And they say we have an advantage with the main roster not really knowing who we are, because we can surprise them, because we've seen their stuff a lot and kind of get the upper hand over them.
It's cool that they're doing more cross promotion.
Yeah. So Kiana James gets Nikita in the corner and just starts doing these double slaps to the chest, and then Nikita just shoves her right back, knocking her on her bum. Kiana catches Nikita with an elbow and then starts to target the knee. At one point, Nikita gets her leg caught up in the ropes, and Kiana's just kicking away at the knee. She even throws it into the ring steps at one point and applies a kind of modified figure four, just putting all this pressure on the knee. Lyons starts to fight back with some kicks, using that weak leg. And this, for me, is kind of where the match sort of fell apart, because we've had for quite a while all this work on the knee and Nikita limping, and now she's kicking, does a kip up onto the knee, and then does this awful looking cannonball in the corner, just completely missing Kiana's head, just bouncing off
weird.
The second turnbuckle, not doing anything.
Look, I think Nikita, since coming to WWE, since being on TV, like, has shown some impressive stuff, but it was odd. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm like, okay, I get the selling, and that's great. You're learning, like, all that stuff in wrestling, and then you're doing kip-ups, and, like, all of a sudden you're not injured at all.
Like you see it sometimes where someone does a move, and they're like, they're fighting through the pain, and they're throwing everything at it. But this wasn't it. It was like, okay, injury's over.
And then to do the cannonball, to not do the cannonball, like, just missing it completely. It's just really funny. There's a few straight seconds of just, like, odd stuff happening. The numbers just weren't adding up for this Kiana James match.
Nikita goes to the pin on Kiana, but Kiana makes it to the ropes. And then Kiana goes for a pin herself, using the ropes for leverage, but the referee catches it. And then Nikita hits her finishing kind of rolling spin kick to the head, and then does her leg splits finisher. Again, all of these moves. Like, you're now just leaping up and landing on your knee to squash Kiana, and Nikita Lyons wins here.
Sorry, Kiana James.
They've been actually giving Kiana quite a lot. Like, this was by no means a squash. Kiana was actually dominant through most of the match. So I always find that interesting how they position someone, because sometimes it will just be Lyons comes in and hits her stuff and wins, and then other people like Kiana here, clearly they don't want to just outright be destroyed.
Because there's strengths in numbers.
There's strengths in numbers.
I thought there was some good stuff between. I actually do think both of them are pretty impressive, but this didn't click for me that much.
No, it was the knee stuff that kind of bothered me, and a few missed things here.
And not to sound like a complete idiot, but I feel like Nikita's gear is kind of strange. She's got usually like almost like a superhero outfit, and then like a white bra that kind of doesn't fit like what she was wearing. So I'm not sure. Like
it's because it's
statement.
white. It looks like a bra, and any sort of British listeners will know what I mean when I say like Judy Finnegan at the TV Awards is what it reminds me of.
Is that just a white? She wore a white bra.
She was doing a speech and her whole top just like popped open and she didn't realize, and her bra's just there. It's
nice.
It's just the color. This color's weird.
Yeah.
When she's been in the black and green, you don't notice it, but it's just the white stuff. It just looks like a malfunction.
It looks as if
right?
It's just you haven't done up your top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to be crude.
I'm not being creepy.
Yeah,
it's just the gear looks kind of weird.
Yeah,
and
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the match, Kiana James attacks Nikita with her handbag.
Nice. As we're critiquing women's gear, and then we mentioned they use a handbag. Yeah. Nice. This feud's going to continue?
I guess so, yeah.
Kiana's angry.
We go now backstage to the Diamond Mine dojo where the Creed brothers are with Apollo Crews watching their match from last week. This is an ongoing thread throughout the show. And Apollo's just getting all excited in this match. He's like, oh, I love it. I love to see it, guys. What great stuff. Julius says, well, Apollo, you see things that other people don't always see. And Apollo's about to bring up something when Roddy walks in. And, well, we saw Roddy the other week when we said, oh, he clearly is happy about the news, Triple H being in power. He was all happy. Well, Hood Up Roddy is back. He's pissed off. He's mad. He's asking why Apollo Crews is there. And Julius is like, hey, you got no right to be mad. Where were you last week? You promised you'd be there for the match and you didn't show up. And he went, well, I never intended to show up. It was a test to see if you could do it on your own. It was a test and you passed. And Brutus and Julius are mad. He's like, hey, you lied to us. That ain't the Diamond Mine way. Diamond Mine doesn't lie. We learn all these new things. Diamond Mine are forever.
And they don't lie.
Diamond Mine don't lie.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing you need to know about Diamond Mine, they don't lie.
It's like the Goonies never say die, but Diamond Mine never say lie.
And Apollo jumps in and he's like, yeah, man, that was shady what you did last week. Roddy says, look, you shouldn't be here in my dojo. And Apollo goes, well, how about, guys, you're watching all these videos. Maybe watch the 6-man tag from 2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
And Roddy says, well, how about instead I face you tonight and we can watch that film next week. And Roddy says Diamond Mine will be in his corner because Diamond Mine is for life.
For life?
Forever.
Diamond Mine don't lie.
Diamond Mine don't lie.
Well, I can't lie. That was a little weird that this was a thing. But Roddy just being Roddy, being like, it was a test.
I'm enjoying pissed off Roddy.
Roddy's
just mad about nothing.
Yeah, Roddy needs the Triple H main roster push.
Yeah.
Just be the workhorse guy up there. Why not? But I'm still interested in this.
It's the story I'm probably most interested in, these guys, because I like all the talents involved. And I like this setting of watching Diamond Mine, as an athlete should do. You watch the tapes and you find out, okay, how can we improve? What do we do here? I do like this setting.
I don't know if it was this one because they go back to them like watching clips later, and I like how Julius and Brutus called Damon Kemp DK.
DK.
Hey DK, watch this. I was like, yeah, nice. They got little nicknames for each other.
So we then go back to another ongoing thing throughout the night. Lash Legend.
Oh, yeah.
She's with Malik Blade in his sweater vest and his red shirt. And she asks where Idris is and then says, actually, it doesn't matter because I don't like Idris Enofi. But what I do want to talk to you about is my match last week with Alba Fire. And she just keeps going on and it just fades away and cuts back to the ring. And they're like, we don't have enough time for Lash Legend. Here's Trick Williams.
Yeah, I'm happy they did that. They should do that more often. Just cut away from someone talking like that. But sadly, we'll be seeing a lot more of Lash later.
A lot more. We go to Wesley versus Trick Williams in something quite different and not done before in NXT. NXT proper.
Yeah.
A rounds match.
Rounds match.
Yeah.
What in the NXT UK is a rounds match?
So it's 6 3-minute rounds with 20 seconds between each round. It's the first to 2 falls. So as soon as you get a pinfall submission, that round is over immediately. And the first person to get to 2 wins. But you can win the match outright with a knockout or a DQ.
Jeez. All right.
They do sort of more of like a boxing-like presentation here. They do the tail of the tape. They're showing kind of both guys like height and their reach and that kind of thing.
Tail of the tape is awesome and definitely a lost art in wrestling. It's so easy to do. But I loved how the tail of the tape for Trick Williams.
Yeah.
On his like tail of the tape thing, it's like best looking superstar on NXT roster and future Ring magazine cover star.
All right. His intangibles.
Yeah, I really, this is Matt Facts essentially here, so liked it.
And even kind of the announcement from Alicia Taylor made it kind of just feel a little different here. They do the first round, and both guys are in boxing gloves.
So they have actual boxing gloves on, and they're swinging for each other.
Yeah, and it's kind of been part of the story. Trick Williams sort of doing his Muhammad Ali thing, and Wesley taking offense from it. Sure. So the first round, they kind of have a bit of a boxing match, and it's mainly Williams, who's obviously a lot taller, so got that reach, and just striking Wes with all these jabs to the face. Wes manages to get some body shots in. They're kind of ducking, doing these body shots, and then Williams then kind of does a leg takedown, and commentary remind us, this is still... It's not boxing rules. It's still a wrestling match.
Yeah.
So he takes Williams down and starts punching him on the mat. And there's then, I think the crowd are chanting, Trick sucks. I wasn't sure if it was this sucks or Trick sucks. Trick then delivers a knee and starts punching away at Wesley in the corner. But Lee starts to fight back and is now unleashing on Trick. And it looks like Trick might be going down, but the first round is over.
Yeah, it's cool that it has a different presentation than a normal match, so it has my attention because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what exactly they're doing. Because at first I was confused. I'm like, oh, is this just a boxing match now? What am I missing? But then they're like, no, they just because the whole he thinks he's Muhammad Ali kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm glad so in the 20-second break, Williams is like, F this. Actually, Mello is like, it's not working and pulls his gloves off. Yeah. So Wesley takes his gloves off as well.
I loved Mello's shirt. It had Wes's face on it, but him crying like a few weeks ago, like when he was like the sad Wesley. So he's got that on his shirt, like crying. It's really funny.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought it was interesting for the first round doing the boxing. I'm glad they moved away from it. I thought, we're not doing 6 rounds of this, are we? Because it's like whenever we've seen this kind of fake MMA thing, we had that fake like Jake Hager match.
Wardlow.
Yeah, like it looks bad, and it almost looks like celebrity boxing here. But for just doing 1 round, I thought it was actually quite different, and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it looked like there was some blood. I'm not sure who was bleeding, but
they were catching each other,
punched in the face.
Things.
Yeah,
I did notice as well, like because boxing, it's different cardio from wrestling. Trick looked tired.
Oh yeah, because
after that first round,
he was dancing around.
Yeah. So we go to round 2. Both gloves are off, and there's a series of arm drags and drop kicks from Wes Lee. They're doing more of a wrestling match now. Slingshot plancher to the floor, but as the ref is checking on Trick, Mello grabs at the ankle of Wes, and then Wes turns into this big boot from Williams to pick up the first fall. So it's 1-0 after 2 rounds to Trick Williams. Then we go to round 3, which is during the commercial break, and we come back to round 4, and now Williams is like, all right, let's mix this up. I've got 1 glove on this time. So, but Wes manages to catch him with a crucifix pin. So now it's 1 apiece. But as soon as Wes gets back up, Williams just clocks him with the right hand, with the glove, and they kind of sell this as a knockout. And Wade on commentary is like, it should be over. It's a knockout. But this was during the 20-second break.
Yeah, so Vic is like, well, he should be disqualified.
Yeah.
Like, he hit him during the time. Like, if you were to do this in boxing, you would be
I
disqualified.
thought the punch looked quite good as well.
It did.
I thought they did this quite well.
Yeah, Wes ate it and sold it, but yeah.
Round 5 starts, and Williams is all on top of Wes, who's still like loopy from this knockout punch. Trick delivers some quite nice-looking vertical suplexes, but Wes keeps kicking out. Trick then goes for a big boot, but gets his leg caught up in the ropes, and this allows Wes to come back with an enziguri to the back of the head. Now it's all Wes, and the clock is ticking down. There's 10 seconds left, and Wes just picks up his boxing glove, doesn't quite get it on, just like smacks Trick over the head with it, knocking him down, and pins him with about 5 seconds left on the clock.
So it's kind of revealed that the glove is loaded with something
Right.
in it. The fact that he was knocked out so easily,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he uses it to whack him with it. So if he hit him with a normal glove, it wouldn't just knock him out. So it's revealed that Hayes and Trick were also cheating, because we've seen him do the shit in his face, the choking him, chloroform,
The alcohol.
and now he won. He knew, he scouted that he was going to be doing some dirty tactics. So I look, the rounds thing is not really my cup of tea, but I just prefer straight up. I love 2 out of 3 falls. That's definitely like the best go-to, but I understand they were trying different things and going with the whole boxing thing. Just, I think it was a cool little feud to have to help elevate like everyone. Really, it helps obviously Wes, because he wins the match and finally got his W back. But it also, like, it was just it was fun.
I thought they did this really well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm with you. I prefer straight up wrestling matches, but we've also seen these two have a straight up wrestling match, and it breaks up the monotony on TV of just seeing match after match after match. And also, I think the street fight stip has kind of been played out quite a lot. We had one last week. We got another one next week. I thought they did a really good way of kind of making each round feel different here, including actually having one of the rounds during commercials. I actually thought they did this really well, and it furthered the feud. I'm surprised Wes isn't involved with the North American title coming out of this.
I think he will be.
But I actually really enjoyed this and thought it was a different kind of presentation.
Yeah, I think Trick can be pretty entertaining in this like annoying heel thing, and playing off like he's a hot shot, and the Muhammad Ali thing was quite fun as well. But interesting to see where Wes can go from here.
Yeah. We go backstage to Chase University, where Ariana Grace is talking to Andre Chase. She's basically ratting on Thea Hale, who gave her this shiner, this bruise on her eye. And Thea's saying, "Oh, it was an accident. What happened? They were playing in the quad, and something happened, and she caught Ariana in the face." And Ariana's obviously upset because she's like, "Didn't you know I was a beauty pageant queen?" And Andres goes, "All right, well, how about we settle this in the ring?" And Ariana goes, "No, I was expecting a sort of lawsuit or something."
She's saying she's going to sue them.
She's going to sue her. And Andre Chase goes, "We're not having a fucking lawsuit here in Chase University.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You fuck, like we do it in the ring." And then Thea realizes, wow, I'm going to get my first ever wrestling match. And she's super excited and keeps on shaking Andre Chase's hand until he falls over.
He really falls over. He knocks into everything on his desk over dramatically. Really weird. So she's gone to the principal's office because she got a
wanting a lawsuit.
Face, yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
really odd. Just strange. Every time
it's different. I do like they're like at least committing to this Chase U world.
They're really committing to this, but like poor Ariana Grace. Sure.
We go back, and Mello is still in the ring from after the Trick match, and says, "Look, we were meant to have an hour-long celebration after Trick's win tonight, but Wes decided to cheat. So we've now got all this time, and I'm going to use it to talk. Last week I issued an open challenge, and Nathan Fraser thought he'd pull a fast one on me. But like everyone, he stepped up and got stepped on, and I left the A champion. And that's all it is, and all it's ever gonna be. When Nathan Fraser's music hits." So Mello's looking up the ramp, looking at the stage, waiting for Fraser, when Giovanni Vinci shows up behind him and poses. You get the snapshot of him like pointing and smiling. And he says, "Last week you saw your life and title reign flash before your eyes when my music hit. But luckily, you had that goof Nathan Fraser come out, and that's okay. I will deal with him at another time when the time is right. But Vinci says you should open your challenge for next week at Heatwave," then speaks a little bit in Italian and says, "You call yourself the A champ, but all I see is a guy."
Ooh.
Well, Mello says that Nathan didn't save me from you last week. Nathan saved you from me. He accepts the challenge and says, "I will put you on a t-shirt and it won't be designer." And then Mello throws the mic at him but Vinci throws it back, and they keep on trying to like one up each other by attacking them, but both guys are jumping out the way. Vinci eventually gets him up for his last ride powerbomb, but Melo slips out, and then there's a big pull apart from the refs.
Yeah, I mean, this match sounds like it could cook for sure.
Yeah, this is confirmed for next week and definitely has my attention.
Yeah, I'd say the most interest going into next week's Heatwave is instantly this matchup. Two of the best wrestlers on this roster, and Melo is the A champ to me on this show. He's the star to watch for sure. I mean, we call ourselves Up Next, and we always go, okay, this person's up next. How is this guy not up next? I mean, anything going forward in WWE main roster, the way he talks and the way he's got everything, like since coming in, he has completely improved and become like a prominent star. And Giovanni, Vinci, what do I always keep
Vinny.
Vinny Sins. He's just fantastic,
yeah.
and I really want to see them wrestle.
Sounds great as well. I think he looks so confident. He sounds awesome, and I'm surprised because I'd have thought, like Imperium, they kind of protected each other by being together, and I'd have not seen him being as good as this on the mic coming out of that being on his own.
Yeah, it's interesting because Melo is a bad guy, but he's like kind of tweening, even though Trick was the heel earlier.
Every Melo defense, I feel, is against another heel.
So it is weird because it's like clearly the crowd might go towards Melo for this, but it's fine. But I do think this could be a pretty sweet matchup. So I'm invested in this, but. It's almost like they're just two bad guys. Like they could be friends. They look like they should be a team.
Yeah,
like the odd evil guys that just team up because they're classy and they're suave. But really interested to see that match.
Vinci hasn't done anything really heelish yet, has he? Just
he
being arrogant.
He hasn't tried to hit anyone with his car or anything.
I don't think so.
No,
not yet.
But someone's.
He was mad because Thea Hale touched his car.
Right. Yeah.
Do you see a title change? Like Vinci's. I don't think lost, has he, since being back?
Honestly, I don't think so, but you know what would be cool if he does win the title and then you can spin off Giovanni with Wesley or Grimes or Solo or whatever, and Carmelo can be the person to fight Braun at the special.
I do see Braun Melo happening at some point.
Yeah.
It's whether it could be a title for title thing. Especially with it being the A championship.
Right.
I can totally see them going with that at some point.
Interesting.
We get a video, not quite a prime target, but a video hyping up the match between Bron Breakker and JD McDonough.
It was like top sirloin target.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite prime cut.
No. They're showing a bunch of JD McDonough kind of, he's in a ice chamber, he's having acupuncture. He says that Bron likes to train like a caveman, whereas I like to train in isolation. Just continuing the sort of creepy American Psycho vibe.
Yeah, so, I mean, it shows him in a sauna, so like a sweat box, and then it shows him in like some sort of ice, Mr. Freeze, cool chamber. And then, I mean, acupuncture, I don't understand how that works. What is that?
My brother does it.
Like he does it to people?
Yeah.
What a sicko. What does this do? You needle people?
You get pressure points. So it's sometimes like your body's all connected, right?
Yeah.
So you keep getting migraines. It might be you put a needle in your calf or whatever, and it can relieve there, like because everything's connected in different ways.
Interesting.
So it's his way of training and dealing with the pain, because the way he talks, it's like he likes pain and he uses it to fuel him. He's also doing like yoga poses on wooden beams and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm all about that. That part of it. They're getting down pretty good with him just being this, just a bit odd, a bit focused on himself. Again, American Psycho, the acupuncture, the ice.
It's just like
chambers.
this guy's not wired quite right,
or maybe he's like the next step above everyone else.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like maybe he is that kind of smart, because then it cuts to Braun. And he's in some like rage room workout gym where he's throwing cabinets around. He's hammering things.
He pretty much says all I am is like speed, strength, and athleticism, and like that gets me by. Like I'm really strong and fast, so that makes it work.
Yeah.
I actually liked us having this. I don't think we needed another promo segment or jump attack or anything like that. This wasn't on the level of those epic prime targets we've had, but I thought this had a good job of building it. It showcased all of Bron's kind of previous opponents during this title reign and stuff. So Didn't think this was bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty into the weird JD stuff.
I think he's doing it quite well.
Showing him do yoga in the sunset and like I don't know quite what it is what he's doing. So maybe they have my attention with it in a good way.
Lash Legend is still with with Malik Blade going on about Alba Fire when Idris Anofi shows up with his six-pack and his nice red hat.
Yeah.
And she continues to go on, and we just cut back to the ring.
So Lash Legend is still just talking
about Alba Fire.
Yeah.
We go to Thea Hale in her debut match, taking on Ariana Grace. And Thea doing all her kind of scrappy-do stuff, just very excited.
That's a good comparison there, because she's doing the classic, like, why
put him up.
She's also doing, like, going for arm drags and, like, trying to scout things. But, like, this is your first match, so she's failing at it. So I don't know if that's part of the gimmick, but yeah. Eventually,
she gets dropped face first on the turnbuckle. And then Grace is kind of just grinding her down, putting her forearm in her face, wrenching at the arm. There's just a whole lot of screaming and facial expressions from these two here.
Yep, there was.
Thea finally gets out of the hold by lifting Grace onto her back and dropping her backwards, and then hits a kind of stinger splash in the corner, and then drop kick to the knee, followed by a running blockbuster, when afterwards she goes to the ropes and kind of does the warrior pose, shaking the ropes there. Then hits a standing moonsault. Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it, as Vic says.
Nice.
And then eats a big forearm to the face. She forearms Grace in the face, and then the ref separates them because he checks on the bad eye of Ariana.
Yeah. Grace is selling the eye, like, oh no, my injured eye.
When Ariana, she's been faking it, boots her in the face, and hits Wasteland.
Wade Barrett.
He's like, that's Wasteland.
One of the worst moves.
It's not a great
It's a
move.
body slam.
Yeah. And Ariana beats Thea Hale.
Damn. Poor Thea. But, I mean, she was in the wrong. She gave Ariana the black eye. So maybe, be careful where you throw that ball around backstage. But, yeah.
I mean, we're watching literally a girl's very first match here. I'll say the positives. I think Thea does throw her all into it. I think she's at a point where maybe you could pull it back a little bit.
Sure.
This screaming from both of them was a bit much. This wasn't ever going to be a technical masterpiece. But it was fine. It's a debut match. I'm not going to be too critical.
Yeah, I found they're both very, very green.
Yeah.
But nothing that upset me.
Yeah, I do think Thea could be a good babyface. I think she could connect with people.
Same with they both have good looks, and it works. They have their characters fitting those looks is what I mean. Thea's playing this college university student, so she's kind of all over the place, and Ariana's playing this basically the Tiffany Stratton light, but beauty queen thing. So the way they come across as those characters, it works. But the wrestling so far,
I will say we've seen uglier matches recently with more experienced people as well.
Yeah. I hate Wasteland though. It's just such a bad move. Sorry to go.
It's you pick someone up and you forget what to do, so you just drop them again.
I'll just throw you down and not hurt you at all.
We see.
Okay, is this the best part of the show?
Apollo Crews. You get those things next up it's Apollo Crews versus Roderick Strong, and you see one of them walking in the corridor getting ready to go to Gorilla. So Apollo Crews is walking.
He's doing this. He's doing the Von Wagner.
Yeah. Goldberg sitting on the ground, that kind of stuff. And then he stops, and the camera zooms in on his face, and he's looking.
And then it zooms into his eye.
It zooms into his eye and has a vision of
the future
Diamond Mine, dying in the ring while the lights are all green. It looks like they've been poisoned.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if they're in
They're writhing around in pain, and then it zooms out, and Apollo's like, huh. And continues to walk.
So, we said it last week. That's so Raven, that's so Apollo.
This is Desmond from Lost for me.
This is him seeing the future, but now it cuts to them. They clearly filmed this today, where it's all of them in the ring. What's in Superman when General Zod and his cronies get put in the...
It reminded me of was it Age of Ultron, when Scarlet Witch is giving everyone the vision of sort of everyone dying.
Yeah,
it's that with Roderick Strong, Damon Kemp, and the Creed.
The fact that they filmed
Ivy
this,
Nile wasn't dying, was she?
No,
Maybe
she was
Ivy
fine.
poisoned them.
She didn't have catering that day.
Till death do us part. Diamond Mine.
What was going on with this? Like, who thought this was a good idea? It just came across so campy. It came across so weird because the camera is like above the ring with these dark green lights, and the four of them like, no, help us, no, we're in peril. Oh man,
yeah,
so hokey.
It's difficult because I fucking loved The Undertaker and Kane as kids.
Right.
Like all that spooky supernatural
Yeah.
stuff. And for some reason I can still like Undertaker, I'm like, yeah, he's a dead man. Okay. Like
sure.
he's always been a dead man. Apollo Crews just having flashes of the future. I don't know if I can get on board with.
It was just too weird, man. Like, this guy's come back to NXT, and we've seen some strange gimmicks here throughout in the past 2.0 regime, but the guy who sees the future, come on. We already have a mathlete superhero luchador, but this guy's literally seeing the future, and they cut to bad cuts of like, oh, we're in trouble. What kind of Halloween Town shit is this? What is going on?
And just like how like what we're seeing inside this guy's head.
Yeah. Osmosis Jones or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know. Like it would still be goofy, but if you didn't show that and you have him in the room with Diamond Mine and they're watching videos and they're talking and Julius is talking to him and then suddenly he goes like cold and it's like, don't go to the parking lot today, and they're like, what? And then sorry, what? And like snaps out of it. You're like, that's weird.
Oh my God.
But also you could maybe be like, that was kind of spooky. That was weird.
Yeah.
But seeing inside the guy's head, actually seeing his vision,
playing the vision out.
Yeah.
It's That's So Raven is exactly what this was. So, holy shit, this guy can see the future.
How would
in his fucking
in his head,
in his eyeball.
next day you're like, oh, let's watch that back. Yeah, that was a weird dream last night.
I don't know. What's that one Black Mirror episode where you can just revisit
with,
your
Toby
memories?
Kebbell. Yeah,
You just can replay anything you've ever seen.
that's
Terrifying.
one Robert Downey Jr. bought.
He bought.
He bought the rights to the script because he wants to make that one into a film.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But to see the future like Apollo Crews,
Yeah,
that's so Apollo. That's so Crews. I can't believe this is what they went with today. It's really funny. It should not be we should not let it slide how funny this is. Just because it's NXT and not a lot of people watch it doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
We've been kind of positive
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks, and there's definitely improvements.
Yeah.
And then just as there's improvements, it's like,
Oh, boy.
we're gonna see if we can slide this in there.
No!
Help me!
We're dying. Yeah, what happened to them? What did he see?
Like, who poisoned them?
They get beat up?
Is this Joe Gacy's Kool-Aid? Has Cameron Grimes murdered them?
That's what it looked like.
Like,
Oh man,
yeah.
it was pretty funny. I really enjoyed it.
We see Solo Sikoa, who's being checked out backstage, and
He was watching the last segment. That's why he's checked out.
he's told he's had basically a sprained ligament in his knee, and he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks. When Cameron Grimes walks in, still looking kind of depressed here, congratulates him on his victory last week over Von Wagner, and Solo says, "Oh man, that means a lot coming from you. Like, everyone in the locker room respects you, so that means a lot. Thank you." And Solo says he'll be watching the North American Championship next week, and kind of says, "I got next." And our TV kind of cut here, but I'm pretty sure he sort of said Grimes will get an opportunity if he's champ, and Grimes is like looking dejected and is like, "Yeah, we'll see."
Yeah.
He's kind of over titles because he always loses them.
He's just sad man Grimes.
Yeah.
And clearly he's going to be joining a cult.
Yes.
Drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaving his head and his beard.
Oh, no.
Getting contacts.
You can't cut Cameron Grimes' hair or beard.
It'll be the beard has to go.
Yeah. No way, dude. That's terrible. Does he get his hat back?
We still want that hat, don't we? That's where his mojo is.
Yeah, that's his demon.
Find the hat and he'll be happy again.
Like when Finn Balor's demon, he's sometimes undefeated. Or sometimes humps the floor in that Extreme Rules show. But Grimes with the hat is like, that's how he wins. That's how he'll overcome.
Yeah,
but I
maybe.
Know. I'm not too into the sad Grimes story anymore, but also we know it's going towards Gacy. So
and that's why we're not into it.
Yeah.
It's move him up.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
We see the next match, Roderick Strong versus Apollo Crews. No Diamond Mine accompanying Roderick Strong, even though he said to Crews that the Creeds will be in his corner watching. They don't show up. The match starts with both just trying to kind of out-wrestle each other. Very even here.
Really, really good chops and like really snug strikes from both of them.
It was really physical, this match.
Yeah, this is a developmental show, yet to like veterans basically putting on a showcase. And I will say this was a pretty sweet match, but they were like gunning it at each other.
Yeah, Roddy grounds Apollo with a key lock, but gets arm dragged out of it. Crews then catches Roddy with a drop kick. This is where we get a really nice stiff chop exchange. Apollo leaps off the second rope and gets hit midair by a drop kick. And then Apollo hits this nice-looking delayed vertical suplex, followed by a bunch of clotheslines and a kip-up. I think Crews might have the best kip-up in the business.
One of them, for sure.
It's so snappy.
I like Sammy Guevara's, because he does it and like does the pose.
Oh, the floating up sort of thing.
Yeah, it's really egotistical, and I like it.
There's a stinger splash from Crews, followed by a top rope blockbuster for a 2. Then the hat trick of Germans, followed by a snowplex.
Yeah,
a
wheelbarrow suplex, underrated move for sure.
Obviously saw Al Snow at Ric Flair's last match and thought, I should bring that one back.
Bring the snowplex out.
Roddy then low bridges Apollo, sending him to the apron, and then hits him with the knee to the face and the backbreaker on the apron. And then Roddy applies the stronghold in the middle of the ring, but gets power slammed by Crews. And then Crews signals for the military press, but Strong slips out and hits his backbreaker. There's then a Gamangiri from Crews. Roddy goes for the flash knee to the face, but gets caught with a gut buster, and then runs into the one-handed spine buster for the win for Crews.
This is a huge one-handed spine buster.
Yeah.
As the lady in the front row is going, no! What? How could he pin him? I mean, too bad Roddy can't see the future. He would have saw that coming. But this was pretty good. I mean, both guys are really good wrestlers. We know that.
This match got time as well. It was 2 segments. It didn't feel shortchanged. Crowd really got into it. Yeah, it was really physical. Both were really going for it, striking each other pretty hard. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say check it out. If you're a cherry picker of NXT, I would say check this out. Wade Barrett went on to say afterwards that this could be a potential match of the year for NXT. He said this will be talked about at the end of the year. I actually really got into it. We're laughing at the silly future boy Apollo Crews, but when it comes to the wrestling, he never was a slouch in that department. And I think Roddy is one of the best bell-to-bell workhorse performers, just always. But there was wrestling on my wrestling show, so call me crazy, but I liked it.
And I will say, as ridiculous as this Apollo Crews character thing is, I am seeing more personality from him than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had the whole Nigerian heel, Nigerian king gimmick thing. But when he was a babyface, he was so bland. And I do think he's coming across with more personality than he has as a babyface.
It wouldn't, if Roddy is A, leaving WWE, or B, going to the main roster and different things, if he is leaving the Diamond Mine, Apollo Crews could be a pretty good fit. Drop the future gimmick stuff.
Have him replace Roddy. Yeah.
Be all right. Apollo should get new theme music and have the artist Future as his,
see what you did there.
That would be all right. Pretty good match, honestly. I really like this weird Roderick Strong thing that they've been just stretching out for so long. But
it entertains me every week, though.
I think we've definitely said this for just years now. But Roderick Strong, or as Apollo called him in this, he called him Rod.
One
of the most underrated talents, I think, just ever. But yeah, good stuff.
We're backstage with Lash Legend with Idris and Malik, and Idris finally goes, "Oi, Lash, you fucking lost.
Shut the fuck up."
And Pretty Deadly come in and say, "Hey, that's rude to interrupt a lady." And they go, "Yes, girl, yes, boy." And they got a match. Pretty Deadly versus Malik and Idris. We see Santos in his car. He's on the phone. He's showing up to Tony D's crib. And he's on the phone to the Legados and says, if anything goes down, I'll give you the signal. You know what to do.
Yeah, so they're teeing it up as if it's some mob movie. It's very movie-esque, like, I'm on my way. And
Yeah.
Coming up next.
We see Valentina Feroz and Yulissa Leon.
Yes.
They're hanging out with Sanger.
Yes!
And we love it. They're upset because they lost. And they're like, oh, man, we got eliminated. We got eliminated first. Oh, this sucks. When Caden and Katana show up with their newly won NXT Women's Tag Titles.
They're still babyface.
They're pure babyface here. And they say, hey, we see what you two do and what you're capable of, and we respect you, and we'd like to give you your chance when the time comes. And they leave, and Valentina goes, I just don't think we're ready. And Sanger goes, you know who you two remind me of? Them. Caden and Katana. They kept on coming so close, but always losing when it came to the big one. But eventually their time came. And all you need to do is clear your mind. So next week, how about you come with me to this retreat?
Yeah, what does he say
I will
next
teach
week?
you how to clear your mind.
Next week we're gonna clear your mind and get you focused, but like never give up like those two.
Yeah.
But next week,
So I see them going to some retreat, doing some
teach them yoga or
yoga.
something. Focus on your mind.
Yeah.
Dude,
Doing
I
that.
mean, look, Apollo Crews is supposed to be this babyface character that we're supposed to get behind, and his gimmick is he sees the future. When I look at Sanga hanging out with this tag team,
Yeah.
I'm thinking his future's looking pretty good.
He's the guy.
Yeah, I think Sanga's got the best thing going in NXT
He's just
right
like,
now.
ladies, I want you to be tag champs.
Yeah.
We've got this deal on Groupon, 3-for-1 at the spa.
Going
Let's
on-
go.
yeah.
We're going to clear your mind, ladies.
Sanga's the best.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why this trio works, but it does. I think they're all three are really likable, and sure, like with other characters, like, oh, next week we're going to go to a retreat and burn some incense and sit cross-legged and burn our clear our minds. I'd be like, oh god, these three, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, if you were to do this with other people, we'd be like, this would suck. But Sanga,
Who's going to interrupt? Who's going to
I hope no one.
spoil this?
I hope no one.
set
Sanga's
up
going to
a
have
match
a
with
great
Sanga.
night next week. I don't know. I don't know, but Sanga's just grown on me completely. Almost enough to say, I mean, again, Wade's mentioning end of the year awards. Dude, I mean, enhancement talent of the year.
I mean, if there's a nicest guy of...
Nicest guy of the year?
Yeah.
Best real life babyface?
Yeah.
Hopefully. This guy just seems like he's a great guy in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Triple H, you don't know what you're sitting on here in this gold mine of Sanga.
But it's
We're not being sarcastic. He's amazing.
But it's big guys like Sanger are always monster heel or
Yeah.
they dance, and that's it. It's like just.
Well, I hope he
dance.
doesn't dance,
He's actually no. But that's what I'm saying. This is something different. They're actually having a big, like, foreign monster. Just he's a nice dude.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
I'm really about it, to be honest. Great stuff. Continue on. I can't wait to see where they go in the heat wave next week. They should just go to the beach or something. Heat wave, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Go to one of the, they're gonna go to a sweat lodge, aren't they?
but it's Florida. Like, they should just be having a nice summer heat wave water gun fight.
That ain't clearing the mind. That's still
Yeah.
still too frantic. I think they're gonna
Okay.
go to a sweat lodge. They're gonna
Yeah.
hallucinate a little.
Oh no, he says you guys got to be more like Katana and Caden. We got to
Gotta
go to a
rave.
concert. Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
go to a party.
We go to the Diamond Dojo where they're watching back the video from 2 weeks ago, as Apollo suggested, the 6-man tag. And Julius and Brutus are watching, going, I don't know what we're looking for here. And then Julius is like, wait, what was that? When Roddy comes in and he's mad, he's pissed again.
Where were you?
Where were you? You weren't there. And Brutus says with a little smirk on his face, it was a test and you passed. And Roddy's like, don't you fucking be cheeky with me, boy. And Julius says, look, Roddy, I think I saw something and I'll deal with that person next week. Because if we remember from the 6-man, Roddy just chilled on the outside and let Julius get beaten and didn't
Right.
make any attempt to save or anything, which he wasn't aware of until now. And then Roddy goes off on about Apollo and says he's not your friend and he's not part of Dark.
Roddy and Diamond Mine, the whole thing. I'm still. I'm assuming they kick him out.
Roddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that for weeks, but yeah, I see him being. I definitely see him, and I could see Apollo joining these guys for sure.
Being the new leader of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're back.
We're back on
Possibly.
picture. I'm not getting any the mics.
Hello, Twitch and YouTube.
I'm on my computer mic right now, but my Yeti seems to not be working.
Uh-oh.
So you should be able to hear me right now on the YouTube, but the sound will be kind of shitty. Just trying to get this fixed.
We both back.
Video and audio both back, yeah, but the sound will be rough right now. Might have to just stick with this sound now. Braden might be a little quiet moving forwards. I'm going to turn... Oh, now the camera's fucking gone. I need a new one of these. All right, we're going to... Sound might be... Yeah, we're aware, Hackman, thank you. Sound might be a bit off moving forward, but this will have to do for the rest of the review. Sorry, guys.
Okay, one sec. Okay, yeah. Next segment.
Next segment. Okay, what was that? That was Diamond Mine. Gotcha. Santos Escobar shows up at Tony D'Angelo's crib.
Yeah.
And beautiful looking place with a shitty folding table and shitty folding chairs. This looked so bad.
Okay.
Like, you've got this setting and
Yeah.
you're using your wrestling tables and folding chairs.
So they clearly rent out some sort of like backyard to some like mansion or something, and then in front of the fountain they just got this shitty little drape over a table with two folding chairs. Like, what?
Why? Like, you could get something nicer than this. I mean,
So
I'm
funny.
thinking back to the Adam Cole, was it EC3 Velveteen Dream thing by the pool? You had
Right.
like a nice
Yeah.
patio furniture kind of thing there.
Yeah.
Like, this looked so, we've hired this place and here's a table and two chairs.
You just you got this great looking backdrop.
Yeah, it looked
and then
awesome.
You just sit down. You could have just had them sit. I don't know. It just looked funny the way they
or
had it.
even the two of them walking through the grounds doing this. Like, having this conversation.
Yeah, walking
maybe
through it
would have
yeah.
been cool.
Walking through it would have been better.
But
it was a weird one little tiny thing that changed.
cheapened it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
definitely brought it down. But we're being critiqued here.
They ask each other if they're alone, and they say, look, we're not going to shake hands with each other after what happened last week. Santos says, hey, look, you tried to end my career. You put me in the hospital. So it was payback, nothing personal, just business. D'Angelo reminds Santos that you still work for me. Santos goes, are you North American champion? No. Or are you tag champion? No. And Tony's like, I may not be a champion, but I'm the boss. And Santos goes, look, this agreement isn't going to work. I can't work for you. You can't work for me. Legado was built on hard work. And Tony says, yeah, well, that hard work got you nowhere. And Tony wants him to come back to work for the family. And Santos tells him the only reason you're the Don is because you sent Ciampa packing. So suggests one final match, but this time we raise the stakes.
Ooh.
Santos says, if I lose to you next week, I'm gone from NXT. And Tony says, well, if you're gone from NXT, the Legado don't go with you. I get to keep them. I get to keep the sheep, he says. But if Santos wins, they are free from the D'Angelo family. And they add the stipulation this will be a street fight.
So Heat Wave, Santos versus Tony D, final boss battle street fight.
Is this Santos call-up?
Look, I mean, it makes total sense to see the whole Legado, the three of them, go up, Santos and Legado. But now they've straight up just said, no, if you lose, you're gone, and they stay. So they've straight up just said that. So, I mean, you could have Santos go up by himself and then eventually bring them in as his heavies.
Or you could have Santos win and in a couple of weeks all three go up.
Yeah,
With Electra or whatever.
Yeah.
I would actually like to see Santos try it on his own on the main roster.
Sure.
I think he's good enough and very capable to be on his own. And one day, you can bolster that act by bringing the rest up. I just think Legado is kind of done in NXT as well.
Legado is just a good unit to
Yeah.
have. Those two, like Cruz del Toro, formerly Raul
Raul.
Mendoza, and Joaquin Wilde are like ring vets. Like they are.
They're
they
excellent,
know how
yeah.
to do everything, and they make other people look so good all the time. And Santos being their leader has just been this great package. And seeing what they've done, like instantly you go bring all these guys up because like they make a lot of sense. But if you are teasing that he's going up by himself, there is other things that have recently changed in WWE, and that's Angel Garza getting his name back. So
Is he Angel now?
like
as well?
they changed him back. They changed his name, right? To like
He was just Garza.
yeah. So now
No,
he's-
he was just Angel, wasn't he?
Right.
So he's Angel
something like
Garza
that.
again?
Yeah. So maybe, you're making some other stable and they're changing things like I know everyone's celebrating 20 years of Rey Mysterio in WWE, but for one fucking time, let's turn him heel and lead a LWO stable with Angel Garza, Santos, and Rey Mysterio.
I think factions is definitely something
And-
I want on the main roster.
They beat the shit out of Dominic and send him back into
Yeah.
NXT, and he can chill with Legado.
Legado.
But I do want to see Legado, the three of them, on the main roster. But I mean, it would make sense for him to go up. Santos is one of the best dressed wrestlers in
He's great.
any TV show, pro wrestling show. He's one of the best dressed. He always looks like a star. So, love
So
this guy.
where if you move him up as a solos, where would you slot him? Like to start with,
Again, I mean,
like,
there's
what do you think would be a good feud, like the starting feud?
Yeah, I mean Rey Mysterio,
Right?
right off the bat, right? Like he's dressed like him before in NXT. He's tweeted about him before. I mean, that's just easy.
You did
go with that,
You
but-
did even have Aaliyah just gifted Mysterio his Halloween Havoc costume,
Right.
which Santos wore
Yeah,
at Halloween Havoc last year, didn't he?
So there's something you could, if they're looking to do more stables in wrestling and WWE product TV, that's Legado is right there for the pick.
Yeah.
I mean, if Triple H knows that, so I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't go with that. But someone like an Angel Garza, they were teasing it with when Andrade was fighting with Rey a lot. You were like, wait, they're fighting a lot. Does this eventually do they just join? Essentially, is there going to be some sort of? I think they missed the boat with that because they were hitting some serious crackers.
Yeah,
like
there
that period.
were talks of doing like hair versus mask at
Yeah.
Mania and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and there was just we're just
Nah.
doing some rematches, and they're just deciding to go out and kill it.
So I would like to see where Santos can do on his own, but I do love the three of them. But
Yeah.
next week, street fight.
You know, when I come home after work, a long day's work, and you might be out, you know what I do when I come home?
What's that?
I say, now I can finally relax. Say it out loud every day.
Who said that?
Tiffany Stratton. She just walks into a room that she assumes is empty on her own and goes, now I can finally relax.
Yeah, what's she relaxing?
I
about?
think you go, when I get home, I go, I might make a noise like that.
Yeah.
Now I can finally relax.
Take
But
the bra off, just
Well-
hang out, grab a cold one from the fridge. That's what most people do.
we've been talking about how Wendy Chu might be going through a bit of a gimmick change,
Yeah.
being a bit more serious. Nope, she's still in a onesie. She's found Randy Orton's night vision goggles. She's behind there just waiting for Tiffany to come into this room to relax. Puts these goggles on, turns the light off, and you hear biff, baff, boosh, oh, ay, ee, ah. And then the lights come back on, and Tiffany is laid out. This was terrible.
This was like Looney Tunes
Yeah.
shit going
Yeah.
on here with the lights going out and then the noises and Tiffany just laying there like she got beat up by Wendy Chu, Who, sorry, if you're trying to get over as a babyface here, you did the complete opposite by making her look like a terrible person. Turning the lights off, attacking someone from behind. That's
Shitty.
that's some shitty behavior there, and she should be checked for it.
Yeah, and this pissed me off because I thought this was a way from the like videos they've been doing, the like nightmares and her being like, oh, she's gonna change and be a bit more serious. I was expecting, ditch the onesie.
I'm not saying we needed Tiffany to be in the mirror powdering her face or whatever, and you see Mei Ying appear in it. But also, you could have done that. If Apollo can see the future.
Well, that's what I wanted to know. We saw that green light over the ring when Diamond Mine were taken out. Was Apollo actually seeing through Wendy Chu's night vision goggles?
True.
And this was Wendy Chu looking over Diamond Mine.
Maybe it's a swerve, and next week Apollo Crews beats the shit out of all of Diamond Mine, and it was his vision. Like,
Maybe.
yeah, I beat the shit out of him.
I killed you.
Because his Titantron and stuff is green.
True. Yeah.
That I'm thinking about. But yeah, the Wendy Chu thing. I mean, Wendy Chu is a great wrestler, and anything she's been given, she's been working with. But it's running its course real quick. So
It's
they
ran
do
its
need
course.
to.
Yeah,
They
it's
need
ran its
to.
course.
They need to change that up. And poor Tiffany.
And
Stratton.
Tiffany needs to move on from this as well, because I think you had that fun match between these two, and
What's
I,
the
I
next?
feel I feel Tiffany, you can move her to someone else now.
What's the match stipulation? Like night match?
Night goggles, night vision, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Pillow. I was gonna say pillow fight, but like,
Wow.
because she's sleepy and
Were you living in 2000?
I know. I was
Vince
trying
McMahon's gone,
to
okay?
think something related to Wendy
Vince
Chu.
McMahon is gone, man. Get your head out of the gutter.
Fair
What's wrong
enough.
with you?
Yeah.
But that would be like that would
be it.
legit be
Yeah.
like a stipulation. The one time
It actually makes sense to do a pillow fight.
Evening
But
gown match.
Do try and go out and have the best fucking pillow fight ever.
It'd be great.
Like loaded pillows. Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
We go to Pretty Deadly versus Malik Blade and Idris Anofi.
This should have been a pillow fight.
I liked how. Why?
Would have made the match a bit more interesting.
Okay. Malik is wearing his sweater vest to the ring, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
it's his entrance attire.
Yeah, here we are talking about how wild pillow fights. This guy's wearing a sweater vest. I don't know what's going on. He's supposed to be wrestling.
There's some double teaming from Pretty Deadly to Malik as they hit a pop-up uppercut. Pretty Deadly are then posing on the outside when Briggs and Jensen show up. Anofi gets the hot tag, hitting a load of drop kicks and diving clotheslines. It's a reverse sling blade to, I believe it was Elton Prince. Idris then climbs up to the top and hits, as Wade called it, the Idris elbow.
I love it. Yeah, I guess that's what they're calling it. Yeah.
Yeah, love
Not
it.
the Idris Elba. The
Yeah,
Idris elbow.
Which looked pretty good as well, but I did like the name here for that. And then Malik hits a nice looking tope con hilo, almost really low over the ropes here with it. Looked really nice. Kit Wilson then goes to use a steel chair, but Briggs grabs it off of him. But as this is happening, Anofi runs the ropes and runs right into the steel chair, allowing Pretty Deadly to hit Spilt Milk for the win.
Yeah, which then furthers Pretty Deadly and Briggs and Jensen's NXT title feud that they can go after. But look, I like Malik and Idris. Every time they wrestle, they do some really impressive stuff. And they're a tag team to definitely watch. And specifically Idris, every time we watch him, like, man, he's doing some crazy stuff. And he looks the part, he acts the part. Like,
we joke about the sweater vest, and that's definitely deliberate.
That's Malik,
That's
right?
deliberate for Malik.
Yeah.
But Idris definitely has the swag and the charisma of the two.
Yeah, Idris knows, like, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job
He's
you
got that
want.
Montez Ford thing going for him.
He's
You
got,
know,
yeah,
where just a bit of swag, a bit of personality. Like
Montez
dresses
said King
like
Tez, and
yeah.
he's basically dressed like a king here as well. So.
Even coming to the ring, he did like the Bret Hart like sunglasses stuff with a kid.
Nice.
Which
But
get them when they're young.
It was pretty like paint by numbers match still with Pretty Deadly. They're someone that I want to see kind of step up when it comes to actual matches, but they still haven't hit too big.
Yeah, they still haven't hit for me either. They're fine in the ring. They're not the most exciting team in the world to watch. I do think their personalities are really fun.
Yeah,
and I think the characters and the look is great. But would like I'd like to see them go and have a bit of a serious feud with see what they're like against one of the top tag teams.
I want Pretty Deadly versus Breezango. Triple H, fucking book it.
Bring him back. Then now's the time. You can bring him back. They're not doing anything.
Multiverse of WWE.
After the match, Lash Legend comes out of nowhere and just pump kicks Fallon Henley in the face. All this time going on about Alba Fire. Then she's like, fuck you, Fallon.
Yeah, Lash Legend, man.
In heels, too.
She was in heels.
She was in heels hitting this pump kick.
She's the one and only You Can't Clone Me.
Yeah. So I guess we're getting Lash and Fallon in a couple of weeks.
Fucking hype, bro.
Yeah, man. I like Fallon.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, but now she's going to job out to Lash Legend. It's the horse girl jobbing out to the girl who talks too much.
Yeah. So Grimes is now leaving. He just showed up to be... He you know when you go to a party and you don't want to go to the party and you're not feeling it, but you're like, I'm going to go, and you just show up and you've got the wrong attitude and people like, here, have a drink, and you're like, no, I'm good. And it's like, and then you're walking around,
you're on your phone.
You give it about an hour just to sort of show face because you should be there.
Yeah.
And then you go, right, I'm going home. This is what Cameron Grimes did today.
For work.
Didn't have a match. He just came around in his nice shirt.
Yeah. Looks sad.
Got pissed off by people and then went home. So some random dude is there.
I thought it was Stacks or Two Dimes, but I don't know.
I had no idea. And he's just like, good luck going through that door. What? That is what he said, right?
Careful going through that door, because it's a parking lot? I have no
idea. And then Grimes is like, what the fuck did you say?
Yeah, he gets
goes
mad.
for him. Security guard, Hank, was that his name? Yeah, Hank, holds him back. And he's like, nah, don't bother with that. And Grimes is like, oh, thanks, Hank.
Shout out Hank.
Thanks, Hank.
Everyone knows
you
that
kept
Hank.
me in check there, Hank. Always looking after me, Hank.
Fucking Hank.
Who was this fucking guy? Not Hank. I know how Hank is. He's the security guy. Who is this loser just, be careful going through that door.
You ever walked through a door before? Better watch out.
Yada.
What the hell is going on this show? This show is on one tonight. We got Hank, that I've never fucking seen before, the random guy talking to Cameron Grimes, and then, oh wait, there's more.
So, spooky Joe Gacy shows up with his ill-looking friends. And
one looks like he's a server, and the other looks like he's at like an all-white party or something, like where you dress in all white. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
It's Voldemort, like going to a party or something.
Yeah,
trying to dress nice for the day.
These guys, man, I don't know. No one has tried to correct us or disagreed with us when it comes to these guys, but holy shit, they got the brunt of this.
Oh yeah. So Joe Gacy is like, hey, where are you going? And he goes,
home.
I'm going home. And they go, to whom? Yeah, Gacy's someone who says whom.
This guy is making fun of this guy going home to, like, what, not having a family or something? Is that what he's alluding to?
Yeah, you're going
like, you
back
don't have a wife
on your own.
Husband.
Like, I'm going back to my
dad.
hat, all right? Fuck off.
Dude, I don't know, man. This was a whole whirlwind of a segment just because you got Hank. Hank could fuck up Joe Gacy.
The other guy.
Cameron Grimes should not. So the gimmick is they're trying to convince him to join the Kool-Aid, like drink the Kool-Aid, join the cult kind of thing. I need Hank to step up and be like, no, Cameron.
I want a Hank cameo every week.
Yeah, Hank should be.
I want Hank to go on to the resort
Who's this guy?
with Yulissa and Valentina and Sandra.
Someone help us find Hank, if it is his real name. But
it's not even his name, is it?
Steve.
Steve, and they're calling him Hank.
We need to find out who this guy is.
Yeah.
Someone help us out and try to find Hank. But Cameron Grimes is going to join the cult of Joe Gacy, and I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's a shame. Cora Jade then comes out with some new music here.
Yeah.
It starts with like the Generation of Jade, and it's a bit more like heavy rock, a bit screamy.
Yeah, we know in wrestling if you turn heel, you get screaming music.
Yeah.
She's so evil.
We see Nikita Lyons backstage, who wishes Zoe Stark good luck for this match. This is winner faces Mandy at Heatwave,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then we get a weird video package for Gigi and JC from Toxic Attraction.
Oh man, this show just keeps coming.
And it's talking about how they're dealing with music. And it started off like almost like a babyface video.
Yeah.
Like how we're dealing with these loss and we're regrouping and we're going to pick ourselves up. And then you just see them like strutting down the road and they pass like a rock music record shop.
They're in a record store.
And JC's in there and she's like, rock music just talks to me. It's who I am.
Rock music is my release. It doesn't give a damn.
I bet, you know what her favorite rock song is? I bet she wears like a Guns N' Roses t-shirt and at karaoke she sings I Love Rock and Roll. That's how rock I think JC Jane is.
Well, Gigi says she doesn't play by the rules.
Gigi don't play by any rules. She's at the bar, she's having a drink, and she says Toxic Attraction lives that rock star life, and a wounded human is the most dangerous kind of animal, as she smashes the glass on the floor. You needed Hank at this bar to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Don't go smashing glasses on floors.
Well, we know that if NXT comes to your town, don't let them into your bar, specifically Toxic Attraction, because they'll just trash it for no reason.
Also, no one else at this bar. If I was the bartender and one girl, like if Gigi Dolan came into my bar, just sat, had a drink, and then just smashed it and walked out, I'd just be like, what the?
Okay.
Who the hell was that?
All right. First of all, JC, if she picks up a Ramones greatest hits record.
Yep.
If you're such a big rock and roll music fan, JC, name all the rocks. Let's go. Tell me, JC. JC, do you wear a GNR shirt when you go to see GNR? Probably. I mean, that's all right. But it was really funny that it just cuts to her in a record shop.
Yeah.
Because they've been trying to just be bad guys who just were hot.
Yeah.
That's literally the only character we've gotten from them. And now all of a sudden, we like rock and
roll
music.
baby.
Also, we go to the bar and play pool when no one else is there. Gigi is playing
no
pool by herself,
no one.
drinking a drink, and then smashes it on the ground. This was so funny. I was laughing my ass off watching this. So funny.
I hate all the, the face. JC Jane especially just is always pulling these faces. And it's trying to be, sexy. But I'm like, why are you pulling that face? You look weird.
Yeah.
Why you stood in a record shop pulling these
So
faces?
funny. Don't you shop like that when you're at a record store?
What, my tongue, just sticking my tongue out, licking my lips. So I'm about to buy a Coldplay album.
Yeah, they need someone to fix you.
Yeah.
They need to fix this. This I like that they're not just moving on, but they're saying hey, we lost, but we're gonna bounce back. But it just felt so forced. It didn't feel. It feels really fake.
It didn't feel authentic. Yeah.
And for two people that look this way, are pro wrestlers, probably are really fucking cool in real life. Why is it doing such the opposite from what you're trying to do? I don't think it's that hard. You look at these two with their Toxic Attraction hangouts that they've been doing. You could have just put them at a club and with the voiceover dubs. Them at a booth. You know, everyone wants to be around them because they're Toxic Attraction. They're, three hot girls is what they're going for. But instead it's them at a record store buying the most fucking generic, they're saying rock music and all this shit. It's wait, what the
I love the rock music.
Yeah, it's hello fellow kids. You it's just really odd. So it was really funny. I do think the way they were going with it, they had intentions. Okay, we'll give you an edge and make you still stand strong. But it definitely didn't hit that way. It was very funny and very laughable. But I like Gigi Dolan. I always liked her on the indies, and I thought she did have a bit of an edge. But it seems ever since this is very watered down, and as her drink, I'm sure, in this segment. But I'm going to do this when we go to, next time we go out, tonight, when we go to karaoke, I'm going to finish my drink.
Smash the glass.
Just smash it on the ground. Let's see what happens.
Thor was on, wasn't it, on the other channel today? We kept flicking, because sometimes our TV would freeze, so we'd flick to another channel and Thor was on, and that's the best bit. This drink, I like it. Another!
That's Gigi. Yeah.
Apollo Crews is being interviewed, and he says that was a huge win over Roddy, and the whole world saw it. Yes, you heard it here first. The whole world. Forget the AEW Dynamite and Raw ratings. The whole world watched NXT 2.0 tonight. and saw Apollo Crews beat Roddy.
I want Apollo Crews to go further into this future thing. They should be like, oh, Apollo Crews, I'd like a second, I'd like a little interview here. And he'll just like put his like hand to his head and be like, sorry, this interview's over. And just walk off. Just start doing things like be the heel future teller.
He sees Vince's eventual Hall of Fame induction in 10 years' time.
He sees everything, so
Yeah.
like, why does he even need to bother? Like,
yeah. He says, I don't like Roddy and I don't trust that guy, but I'm gaining the momentum now. And that, I kind of like this. I know the momentum word is used a lot in wrestling, but that first promo when he came in, he was like, I want to challenge Braun, but I feel like I need to kind of rack up my wins here. So I kind of got that as pointing to that. Okay, I've got a big win over Roddy. I'm like making my way towards that title picture. Where Grayson Waller walks in and starts mocking him and celebrating his win. He shuts down Mackenzie and goes, well, let's ask some actual proper questions here. And he's going, why are you here? He says, on behalf of 2.0, we don't want you here. And I've already ran one guy out of here, which I assume he's talking about Gargano.
Yeah.
So another little reference we haven't had for a while.
Yeah.
And I'll do it again. And Apollo goes, all right, do it. Come on, do it.
Hit me.
Do it.
Fight me.
I ain't going nowhere. So this hasn't been confirmed for Heatwave, but I imagine maybe in 2 weeks
We'll get
this
this
match.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question coming out of this segment is, where did Grayson Waller get that shirt?
Oh, beautiful shirt. I did see Grayson's DMs are open on on Twitter, so I messaged him, mate, you got to let me know where you got that shirt you wore tonight on 2.0. I need it. So, as always, I'm going to throw to you, our upNXT experts, to help me out.
Yeah, we need to get.
We need
Davie
to get this. We need to get this. So I'm gonna tweet him now.
I mean, if you listen to us for a little while, you've heard Davie talk about his watermelon shirt, and then you've heard me talk about my jellyfish shirt. We like really colorful shirts. I did see a guy wearing a different jellyfish shirt the other day.
Oh yeah?
At a concert I was at, and I wanted to ask him where he got the shirt, but I couldn't do it. I was a little too late, so I'll just find it on Amazon.
It was probably Winners.
Like where I got mine.
Winners and Marshalls.
Marshalls, baby. Yeah. JCPenney. Well, I hope Grayson gets back to you and lets you know where he buys.
Me too. I keep asking Ethan Page as well. I guess they
Maybe
just want to keep it exclusive to them,
they know
maybe.
like the spots to get online. Yeah.
Yeah, but help me out. Retweet my tweet. I want to know where the shirt's from. It was nice. We go to Cora Jade versus Zoe Stark in our main event. Mandy Rose joins commentary and said nothing. Vic even at one point goes, Mandy,
hey,
you're really quiet. And she goes, yeah, well, I'm focusing. I'm going to face one of these people next week, which makes sense. But it was definitely like, normally you get someone on commentary. It's like, come on, bring something.
Yeah, the heat.
Mandy clearly didn't have anything to bring. So it's like, I'm just watching the match. Focusing.
Sounds like a normal episode of NXT
Focusing.
when Mandy's on TV.
So Zoe hits this like cool looking seated springboard twisting senton to Cora. Cora comes back with some clotheslines, applies this neck crank submission that Zoe manages to turn into a roll up for a 2 count. Cora then goes for her knee to the face in the ropes, but gets caught and just dumped by Zoe. And then Cora goes for her stick, her new weapon.
Her stick.
What
Get
else
the
do
stick.
I call it?
Get the strap.
It's like a black kendo stick or something.
It's a pipe. It's a pole. It's like a really bougie like dust broom handle. I don't know what it is, to be honest.
And she goes to swing at Zoe, but Zoe ducks and hits this release German suplex, just dumping her on her head.
Yeah, they replayed it a bunch where it looks like Cora almost like lands on her like neck or head or something. I hope she's all right.
Zoe then hits a running drop kick to the side of the face, and then another big release German, again dumping her on her head. But Jade starts to fight back, hits a hammerlock DDT, followed by sliced bread for a 2. And now Roxy shows up at ringside and has the stick.
Stick talk.
And this distracts Cora, and Zoe hits her with, still need a name, the big flipping knee to the face.
It's like a GTS, but like, flipping GTS.
Spinning GTS thing.
Lift. Crazy move.
And just points at Mandy as she's pinning Cora for the 1, 2, 3. And after the match, Perez goes to attack Cora with the stick, but Cora runs off, and Mandy goes to attack Zoe, but Zoe catches her with the flipping knee strike.
Yeah, even Mandy catches that knee to the face there.
And NXT ends with Zoe Stark holding the NXT Women's Championship up high, which, as we know in wrestling, means usually you ain't winning.
Ghost titling?
Yeah.
Means you're not walking out champ. Yeah, this match was all right. It had some cool stuff between the two of them, but it had some stuff that I also wasn't super into as well. You didn't need to be Apollo Crews to see the finish coming with Roxy interrupting with the pipe and everything, which makes sense.
So that match is next week as well.
Yeah.
So we've got Cora versus Roxy next week, as well as Mandy versus Zoe.
Yes.
And I think Zoe's great. I think her moves look really unique, and she clearly knows what she's doing. One of the more experienced women on the roster. I don't think it's going to be the end of Mandy's reign, but maybe. We were talking the other week about Io. Obviously, Io's not there now. She's on main roster. I could definitely see the Cora Roxy match, us not properly getting it next week. Getting some kind of screwy thing with it. Because it's quite a lot of matches next week, and I think that's a big feud at the moment that you would probably put on the premium live event.
Yeah, they want to try to make it like the Gargano Ciampa thing.
So I can see it being non-finishy next week and maybe not going too long.
Overall, this week's episode had some really head-scratching, funny stuff that wasn't supposed to be funny. The future stuff with Diamond Mine in the vision, the green vision of them just dying. I guess they're dying mine. And then also the Tiffany Stratton, Wendy Chu stuff was kind of weird at the goggles, just more nonsense really. But then I did get some good wrestling. Roderick Strong and Apollo Crews had a really sweet match. And I got into the rounds thing. It was different, so I definitely got into it, and I think it helped elevate them, like I said.
Yeah, the rounds match and the Apollo Roddy match, definitely for me. I thought there was some good in-ring stuff tonight, and the head-scratching stuff was at least entertaining to talk about. I got a laugh.
Yeah, I got a laugh out of a lot of stuff on the show, particularly the future stuff. But there's a lot of stuff on the show that every week... It seems every week they have an overrun. And I'm like, dude, does this show need to be 2 hours long? And not even that. Does this show need to be 2 hours, 5 minutes long?
Yeah.
They always go over. Even if it's by a minute, they still go over 8 minutes.
It's normally 8 minutes, the overrun.
Why? Because we needed to see Andre Chase throw all his shit after getting his hand shaken by Thea Hill. They put in so much extra shit on this show that it's instead of not doing that, do what NXT did before, was hey, this week these people aren't featured, but that's next
I think
week.
the idea for the overrun, I think, is not necessarily for the people watching the show. It's for the people who are tuning in to watch whatever movie's coming on next, or the news, or whatever's after.
Usually, yeah.
And then you see the end of the main event, and you go, oh, what was that? And you might check it out next week.
Right.
I think that's the idea of it, not so us watching it can get another 3 minutes in the main event.
It just always feels like they go over a lot. So
it's every week.
Yeah.
Every week they get the overrun. But I will say, I think next week's show is looking pretty good. Got Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade, Carmelo Hayes versus Giovanni Vinci for the North American title, Santos Escobar versus Tony D'Angelo in a street fight, Mandy Rose versus Zoe Stark for the NXT Women's Championship, and Bron Breakker versus JD McDonough for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
I think that sounds pretty good.
It has some interest for sure. Bron Breakker, JD McDonough could put on a pretty interesting match, considering the story with him being kind of a psycho and all that joint manipulation stuff, and Braun being Braun. It could be pretty entertaining. But the match with the most interest for me is Carmelo Hayes versus Giovanni Vinci. That just sounds like, I hope they get a lot of time. I hope we get a lot of great wrestling from the both of them, and I can definitely see that being match of the night. Tony D and Santos in a street fight. That actually sounds pretty fun as well. Tony D'Angelo can wrestle.
It's the blow-off, and I do think there's interest in the result with that stipulation that's been added.
And then obviously Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, the feud going on. It makes sense. You're calling the fact that it's going to be maybe some sort of messy finish to kind of prolong this feud. That also makes sense. Maybe Roxy gets, quote unquote injured, or something that definitely stretches. Maybe this is when Commander Zod shows up.
Yeah,
you could do
that's
that.
true.
Or maybe if she has a different backup or something along those lines. There's that. But what about winners for next week? You think Braun Breaker's beating JD McDonough? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd go with
Braun
Braun.
retains for sure. Mandy Rose retaining as well.
I've said this every title defense. I think it's ran its course. Just what's more interesting? Who else is there to challenge Roxy? I guess Roxy gets her rematch at some point, and then you add that in the feud with Cora.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, is Zoe a better choice? I don't know. It'd be better for match quality for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she feels hot enough to really take it yet.
Maybe Mandy versus Cora versus Roxy at the
Triple
next
threat?
one. Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes retaining. That one could go either way. That one's definitely.
I think so. I can see us getting that title for title match at some point with Braun.
The A champion. Tony D beating Santos, sending him packing to the main roster.
Yeah.
Can see that happening. And depending on what happens with Cora Jade and Roxanne. Cora Jade winning, I guess, in some sort of heel way.
Yeah, I could see that.
Something like that. But yeah, I hope the wrestling is strong. I'm sure they might add a match or two as well. That's 5 matches that we've been chatting. But if they add Apollo Waller maybe, or Wes someone, I don't know. There's a few different. Pretty Deadly, Briggs and Jensen. They could add that as well. But by the time
I think that's quite. There's 5 matches announced for next week. I think that's enough. Probably stuff announced for the following week coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we thought of this week. Do we have any feedback?
Yes,
this week
we
for
do
the
have
show?
some feedback. First, in the Facebook group, if you haven't joined already, upNXT Facebook group, the UpNXT podcast page and group on Facebook. If you still have Facebook, hey, join it. Corey writes in, tonight's episode, quite frankly, was not good at all. The best match was Roddy Apollo, and even then I found it hard to care since neither person has any sort of real in-ring charisma. Lash continuing to get a spotlight while other better women than her get little to no TV time is baffling. And then the main event, while fine in the ring, was completely dragged down by Mandy being completely uninterested in being there and sounded absolutely miserable on commentary. Kind of makes her interview where she complained about still being in NXT make her look even worse. Meanwhile, women like Saray get screwed over by absolutely terrible booking just so they can try to make Mandy a thing, despite the fact that she has like negative levels of interest right now. It seems like they are splitting her up from the rest of Toxic Attraction as well. I guess because they didn't feature her in that.
That's
video.
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they were trying to sell people on Heatwave next week, they failed miserably in every aspect. Even Raw was better last night. But hey, to end on a positive note, provided there isn't a shock elimination in the women's tag tournament next week, you guys are likely going to see Asuka Alexa versus Io Dakota at the Toronto Raw.
Nice.
Nice, all right.
That is something I think if you were to take the title off Mandy and distance her from Toxic Attraction, but keep Gigi and JC together, you could always have her go back and maybe team with Sonya. If they want to make this, if maybe one of the new focuses of the new regime is to actually try and make this tag division legit on the main roster.
Yeah.
I think Mandy's better off being in a team with Sonya than on her own.
Yeah, sure.
We go to Sean, who says, ladies carried the show tonight. Nikita and Kiana had a decent, if low stakes opening match, where honestly I thought Kiana looked more impressive. After that, there was a huge dead zone in the middle of the show. The rounds match was a massive disappointment, particularly considering how much better NXT UK has used the rounds matches in the Heritage Cup. Why the hell were they actually boxing? It was just stupid. Things finally picked up again with Roddy and Apollo putting on a predictably good match. The show then ended with a solid main event between Zoe and Cora that did a good job leading into Heatwave. Other than that, the show felt like I imagine Malik and Anofi felt having to listen to Lash Legend. Hopefully Heatwave serves as a chance for the new regime to make some adjustments to 2.0, and also suggests Zoe's finisher should be the Zoe to sleep.
Nice.
There we go.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Well, hey, thanks guys for writing in, and thank you for listening to us chat all about some NXT 2.0. Yes, it's still 2.0. Maybe Triple H will get his paws all over it and change it back to the way he seemed to like things. But hey, he's changing wrestling right now.
I think you're not going to see big changes until the next recruits.
PLE.
You know,
Oh,
like
recruits,
the next like performance center.
Yeah.
Like we just had the tryouts.
Yeah.
Maybe moving away from your bigger guys, so might get more of that indie feel that you bring in.
Sure.
But yeah, they're still doing some goofy shit there.
A lot of real
But like,
goofy shit.
let's not forget, it's not like they weren't doing goofy shit before
Sure.
2.0.
Sure.
We had The Way, we had Ted DiBiase, we've had a bunch of
Hey, those
weird
are
stuff
great
in the
things. I
days
don't
as
know
well.
what you're talking
Yeah. Okay. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, hey, we appreciate you listening. We will be doing some Dynamite chat with John Pollock Wednesday night on the Post Wrestling YouTube, and then that will be on the Post Wrestling podcast feed. Go check us out. Hanging out with Pollock, chatting all about some Dynamite. And of course, again, patreon.com/upNXT. $5 for all these podcasts. Almost, I think, even over 500 podcasts there. Best matches ever. The movie reviews, the retro pay-per-view reviews. It's all up there, including our Heatwave 98 coming out. But so many things. It's only $5. We would love for you guys to check us out and let us know what you think. But at UpNXT Podcast on Twitter to go see if Grayson Waller ever lets us know where he got that.
He's a heel.
Sure.
He's not going to, is he?
Yeah,
No.
he's going to say something real cheeky to you, I bet. We appreciate you guys listening to us. I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. I am at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
And I can see the future. It's time for us to go. Goodbye. Oh no. Help.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.